And we're back. Let's get into the Sunday preview, Joe. Are you ready to do some game picks? Talk about a little
Yeah, for
fantasy
sure.
stuff.
Let's go. Week 3 coming in hot. I'm ready.
All right. Let's start. We always start in the classics. You know what I mean? New England at Baltimore. New England 1-1. Baltimore 1-1. That should be 2-0, but that's okay. Uh, the Ravens come in as of right now at a 3-point favorite on the road, over under 44 points. Injury reports. There's some touch and go ones here. Lamar, I don't know if you heard, he had like the
Fingers
sleeve on his
crossed for
arm.
J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah. Dobbins, I believe, plays this week. He's had full practices. Also, Duvernay was in concussion protocol. He just got out, so he'll be on the field. For the Patriots, Jacoby Myers, possible. He's questionable with a knee problem, so something to look at there. That's their clear number one, if you ask me. But what are you thinking here? I'm probably gonna take Baltimore. You know me.
So yeah, I'm on Baltimore as well. Taking Baltimore, even though they're on the road, I still just do not like anything I've seen from the Patriots yet. And fantasy wise, I think if Jacoby Myers plays, I think he's a great wide receiver three flex ish type of guy because I mean he's gotten the targets, he's gotten the catches so far this year. And like I said, I do not like the Patriots running back situation playing against Baltimore, but I do like it's hard to say you do like Baltimore's running game because I mean I expect them to
They
be
can't run
up,
the
but
football.
yeah, I know. So hoping to see J.K. Dobbins, like you said, he was practicing full last week and he has been practicing full this week. So I know that they're trying to be very smart and careful with him. I'm hoping to see him play and might as well put up 45 fantasy points. Really get me juiced up for the
I
running
don't
back
know if you
situation.
saw the highlight of Kenyon Drake hitting the outside, and there's like a lane straight ahead to go
Did he
house it,
run right into someone
but
else
he just
instead?
goes all the way to the sideline behind two blockers. I don't know what's going on. I can't speak to
Yeah.
that. You playing Rashad Bateman?
I'm playing Rashad Bateman. Yeah. I mean, I know
He's
that
been super efficient
he
on,
has been super efficient.
yeah,
But I think that it continues to get better, especially if Duvernay doesn't play. I like Bateman even more, obviously. Mark Andrews, you're always playing Mark Andrews, but I think you have to play Rashad Bateman in this sort of like there's only Mark Andrews.
yeah.
So in the passing
I
game, you
mean,
would
we've
think
seen
Rashad
Duvernay get
Bateman has
involved.
to continue to get better. Yes, we have seen Duvernay get involved, but I think he's like a for sure start because I mean he's got to pass the ball somewhere else. He's got to.
Yeah. Philadelphia Eagles 2-0, maybe the juggernaut of the NFC East. They go to Washington to face the 1-1 Commanders. You don't look like you're super happy to be picking this
No, this
game
game
right
is
now.
going to suck.
Um, Philadelphia on the road, 6.5 point favorites, over under a 47. Injury looking at it. Quez Watkins is
Jalen
questionable.
Hurts, start of the century.
Um, Nothing huge. Cole Holcomb. I know he might be. I think he's
Yeah,
rostered in our league.
he
Jake Wills.
is.
Uh, Fantasy wise, I mean, this could be a good fantasy day. Wentz is a fantasy star. Curtis
Yeah, he
Samuel's been
is.
good. Both wide receivers for Philadelphia, minus the bad week one from Smith. Jalen Hurts has been a superstar. Miles Sanders, Antonio Gibson. So I think you're starting everybody.
Yeah, for sure. And I said Jalen Hurts started the
Goddard, Logan
century
Thomas.
because this Washington defense can't even stop Jared Goff, who's not going to run around and make plays on his own. Just imagine somebody who can throw it like similar to Jared Goff and be able to run around and make plays with his feet. I mean, the over in this game is what?
It's
Over.
47.
Oh my God. The
You
over should
taking
be
the
like
over?
67, I'm
Okay,
thinking.
you taking the over?
I mean, I think I'm all on the over there, but yeah, fantasy implications. I'm playing everybody. I'm playing. I mean, even on the Washington side, I'm still because I mean, Philadelphia still did let the Detroit Lions like running game run all over them. So I'm still playing Antonio Gibson. I'm playing all wide receivers. I lean to not play Jahan. I know he was your sit of the week. I don't hate playing him this week, but I lean to not play him. Philly, I'm playing Goddard, Devonta Smith, AJ Brown, Miles Sanders, Jalen Hurts. So that's all of them.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes
Yeah,
on
I
Sunday. I
mean,
think I'm taking Philly minus 6.5.
yeah. I think this is a division game, so I'm hoping that it stays close, obviously, and I'm rooting for Washington, but expecting Philly.
The Kansas City Chiefs 2-0 go on the road to face the 1-1 Indianapolis Colts. Might as well be 0-2 when you got a tie against Houston. Indianapolis, by the way, Came out and played two teams they were definitely favored against in division, and they didn't get a single win. So this is a huge game for them. I think they show up a little bit as far as the line. Kansas City is a 5.5 point favorite on the road, over under a 50.5. Let's see. I think Shaq Leonard's playing this week, which I think is actually huge for their defense. And I
Yeah.
think Michael Pittman plays. But what are you looking at here? Obviously, in Indianapolis, it's
So
Pittman and Taylor and maybe Hines, but that's it.
yeah, I don't want to play Hines, that's for sure. He was involved in the deal to me. I won't be playing him, but for other people out there, I don't think anybody's begging or like hoping and begging to play Naeem Hines this week. I do see a little bit of a bounce back for Indy. I think that this
Yeah,
is just a spot that they just lost two bad games and now the Chiefs come into town. Um, I see a little bit of a bounce back, but I still see the Chiefs not really struggling too hard here, considering they are the Kansas City Chiefs still, and they have been kind of overlooked after losing Tyreek Hill. And I still don't think that they're getting quite the respect that they deserve, especially with this line. I mean, only 5.5 after what the Colts have lost to and after who the Chiefs have beaten. I'm on the Chiefs here. I'm only starting Travis Kelce and Clyde. I don't want to start a wide receiver in Kansas City either, which is crazy to say. And we obviously are starting the known commodities in Indianapolis. Well, I want to
I
start Patrick Mahomes too, of course.
yeah, I agree with all that. I think I'm taking Indianapolis plus 5.5 at home. I think
All right, that's
I
spicy.
don't think they're winning, but I think they can. I think they make it kind of close. I
All
mean,
right,
I think they got to get right. If not, I'll tell you right here. You want should this be a board bet? If they get blown out, I
season's
think
over.
no. If they get blown out, I think Frank Reich's fired.
Oh, right away. Put that shit on the board. You might
I
as well.
mean,
It's
he should have been. If they get blown out, so what are we determining a blowout here?
so. Let's just say if the
It's
blowout would indicate that it was bad enough that he got fired. So it's either he gets fired or he doesn't. Is it not?
well, I mean, yeah, I mean,
It's up
but
to
like,
you. I mean, this is your call.
but
So
if they, but I don't
don't let
think.
me
But here's
push
the
you into
thing: what are
anything.
we saying is a blowout? Like, what if it's a tie game and then Kansas City scores a touchdown late and they win? That's not a blowout to me.
I
If
mean,
they could cover it,
If Kansas City's up by
two
three
touchdowns,
scores, like so, let's say 15 plus, they're up or yeah, 15 plus. Or no, it'd have
15
to be
plus.
17 plus because two scores would be 16. 17 plus going into like fourth quarter at some point throughout the fourth quarter, then I think that's blowout.
All right, so I'm putting a board bet. That's my board bet. Frank
I
Reich.
know those numbers were a little confusing, but two scores would be 8 and 8, touchdown, and 2 point conversion would be the most you get. So 17 points at any point in the fourth quarter, then that's a blowout.
If it's a blowout win, Frank Reich's getting fired. That's my
All
board bet
right.
of the
I
week.
like that call. I like
Yeah, I
that
mean,
call.
spice
Not
it up
gonna
a little
lie.
bit.
That is
I
good.
am taking Indianapolis. I don't want you to lose your job, Frank. Come on,
Yeah.
cover.
You're on the Colts. That's the best part about this is that you're on the Colts.
I know because I'm rooting for him.
Yeah.
Let's go to Carolina. The New Orleans Saints 1-1 go to the 0-2 Carolina Panthers. I might make another board bet about a coach losing his job,
Oh
but I
no, Matt
won't.
Rule, smell you.
I think the expectations a little higher in Indy than they were in Carolina this year. Injury wise, oh, Taysom Hill's on there. Good, let him stay on there. Christian McCaffrey did pop up on the injury report. They said it was
Yes.
precautionary, so I don't think it's anything big. The Saints are 2.5 point favorites on the road, over under a 41. Alvin Kamara, by the way, not on the injury list. He's completely off it. So
That's awesome.
yeah, let's hope he has a good week. What are you thinking in this? I think I'm probably. Oh, you go first. You go first. I don't know what to take.
I definitely understand your hesitation. I mean, oof. I don't know either. And
Yeah,
this is pretty gross. I like what you were about to say though. Matt Rule, if the Panthers lose,
they
Matt
get
Rule might
blown
be
out.
fired too. If they're down by more than two scores, that's 17 to clarify.
You want to make your
In the
board bet of the
fourth
week?
quarter, Matt Rule is probably gone too, and that's crazy. Golly, I
I'll
really
take the
don't
I'll take
know.
the Saints. I think the defense. I think Alvin Kamara gets in the end zone this week. I'm not even. That's not just
So
me
that's
like
what
being
Saints. What's the
Saints minus
number?
two and a
Two and a
half.
half.
I think their defense is just better and it plays. And Baker struggled early on, and
All right. Well, I'm
it's
gonna
just
take the Panthers then,
okay.
just for fun. We'll split up there. I'll be
All
on the
right.
Panthers. Panthers plus 2.5.
Starting wise, you're starting Chris Olave.
No, I only want to start Michael Thomas in this matchup. To be honest, I could see this being a defensive centric game with the running game being the main portion of the offenses. Kind of a slow paced defensive game here. So obviously, I'm starting Kamara and CMC, and
DJ
only
Moore.
really want to start DJ Moore and Michael Thomas. Those are the four guys throughout this game. Starting running back and then the wide receiver one on both teams. All I'm thinking about.
If you were someone who had Trey Lance or Dak, are you starting Jameis Winston?
Just thinking of waiver wire, I'd rather start like something like Marcus Mariota.
I have him starting
There's
the
a
league.
chance that Carson Wentz was on your waivers going into this waiver like session. If you had him, I'd choose Carson Wentz over trying to think of other guys that would be there.
Trevor
I mean,
Lawrence. I was gonna wait to bring that name up until
I would probably start Jameis over Trevor Lawrence, considering the Jags are playing the Chargers, and the Chargers defense has been a lot better this year. If Derek Carr is there, I'd start Derek Carr.
yeah.
Guys like that, I would start over Jameis still.
Let's go to Chicago. Houston Texans 0-1-1 versus the Chicago Bears, who are 1-1.
Texans are winning this game. I'm just gonna jump out and say it.
Texans are plus 2.5
Yeah, on the road
with
they're
an
taking
over
this
under
dub.
of 40. Man, my only thing is like the Bears just can't play the Packers. I think they look especially bad against the Packers, and if we think David Montgomery's having a big day, oh boy, this is another tough one. Over under is 40. Not expecting a super high
I
scoring
think
game.
David Montgomery can have a good day and the Bears lose because he just showed that literally last week against the Packers. Um,
Boy,
I think
this
Davis
is a
Mills and
tough one to
Brandon Cooks
pick.
have a great connection here, which is going to suck because I just got rid of that connection. But I mean, I'm on the Texans. I'm on the Texans to win this game.
Oh,
I'm only
I
starting
don't
Brandon
know. I've
Cooks.
deadlocked in this
I
one.
think you could start Damian Pierce in a
I was
pinch
gonna
if you
ask
need
that.
to. I would say that he is startable here. So, and on the Bears side, I'm starting David Montgomery and nobody else.
Give me the Texans plus 2.5 on the
Sounds
road.
good. I like
Uh,
it. Let's ride.
not too much else to talk about here. I mean, you
No,
can't
not
start
at
a
all.
Chicago pass catcher in the slightest. Okay, here's probably the game of the week. Let's go to. Is this in Buffalo or Miami? I think it's in Miami. The
Miami.
Bills 2-0 at the Miami Dolphins 2-0.
So
Huge
excited for this
fantasy
game.
matchup. Uh, let's see. Gabe Davis is on the injury report, but I believe he said there's a quote today. He said he was 100% he's going to play on
Yeah,
Sunday.
I'm
Uh,
starting him right away as well.
Dawson Knox, foot problems. Boy, I don't think you can start him.
His target share hasn't really been there, and not that he was this big target guy in years past, but he's usually been getting red zone work, and that has not been shown so far this year. So I'm looking to pivot off of Dawson Knox if possible.
The Dolphins are 5.5 point underdogs at home, over under 52.5. You're starting everybody in the passing game.
Yeah.
Every single
Yep.
person you can get.
Yep.
I don't know. You starting two in this game.
I would start Tua over Jameis if that means anything. Just to go back
Okay.
to the kind of the baseline that you created. I'm not wanting to start Tua considering the defensive matchup with Buffalo, but if I'm needing a guy, if I had a Dak Prescott that got injured, if I had maybe a Justin Herbert that doesn't end up playing, something like that, I wouldn't mind starting Tua there.
I agree. Are you starting any Buffalo running back?
No, I don't want to touch
No.
him. I mean,
No.
if I have to, it's Devin Singletary, but I really don't want to. That's for sure.
I agree. Not a running back game, but the wide receivers: Gabe Davis, Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. Uh, Boy, who you taking here? This is another tough. This is a tough week.
I'm taking
I'm taking the
Buffalo.
Bills. Yeah, I gotta take the Bills. I mean,
I think that Miami's legit, and I think they've proved it. But at the same time, if the secondary of Baltimore, I'm sorry for this, secondary of
no, go
Baltimore
ahead. I
doesn't
agree.
let, obviously Tyreek is the fastest player in the NFL, but if they don't let Tyreek Hill pass them multiple drives to just run behind him, I mean, when you're the safety, nobody should be getting behind you. Obviously, I'm nobody when it comes to the NFL, but
Joe played
when
tight
you're
end in high school for everybody.
yeah,
All right.
thank you,
And I
thank
never
you.
played a down of football in my life outside the backyard. So when we
But
mean the
when
safeties got to be doing their fucking job, we mean
Exactly. Thank you. And when you cannot, especially once it happened on the drive before, how are you going to let it happen twice?
you're telling me, Joe? Let's not get back into this. We're taking the Bills minus 5.5
We're
into
taking the Bills
Minnesota.
because the Dolphins shouldn't have come back on the Ravens. I think the Dolphins are a good team, but Buffalo is that team.
Oh
So I'm
my
taking
God.
Buffalo.
Detroit 1-1. I love my Lions. Going to Minnesota 1-1. Ugly looking loss for Minnesota last Monday. Right now, the line has a 6 point favorite for the Vikings at home, over under 51.5. Um, dude, give me the Lions to lose by 6. I'm the Lions
Yeah. I mean,
can
it's
lose by
crazy.
6 to this team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the Lions as well. I do believe in the Vikings. I know that they just laid a dud, but the Lions catching six, dude, have we not learned that when the Lions are catching points, like you're probably gonna want to take them, even if they don't win, that they're gonna somehow scrap their way back, and it's gonna be like a 3 point game every single time. So I'm on the Lions here. I think just another great fantasy game. Both running backs should be great. Um, Wide receiver one's Justin Jefferson. I'm on Ross St. Brown. You're starting. Hawkinson and Irv Smith, I think, can both be started if needed. Obviously, Irv Smith had a good week 2, didn't play week 1, or I believe he did play week 1, but was kind of MIA because I know he had a thumb injury in the offseason. Yeah, I mean, there's not anybody I'm really not looking to play. You could even play Jared Goff in this situation if you need to with all the quarterback struggles. I would play Jared Goff over Jameis. That's another guy to add onto the list. But I am on the lines with you.
Are you playing Adam Thielen at all? Just because of the good matchup.
Yes, and I'll say that because the Lions have proved to be able to score and they have proved that they are able to be scored on, and the Vikings have been the same exact way. So I do see this as a heavy offensive game. I think Adam Thielen needs to get involved just because of not necessarily matchup based, but with that much offense going on, although Justin Jefferson is that guy, you can't expect a 50+% target share for Justin Jefferson, you know? So I'm
I
willing to start
agree.
Adam Thielen, even though he hasn't been able to do it week 1 and week 2.
Uh, yeah, I agree. TJ Hawkinson, you still giving him the nod?
Yeah, I mentioned it a little bit. TJ and Irv, I think I would play both of them. I wouldn't love to play either one of them, but tight end's a tough position to play, so I would still start both.
Let's go to New York. The Bengals 0-2 face the 1-1 New York Jets. Joe Flacco had a great comment where he said he wins in Cleveland a lot, and he did last week. Um, you damn right he does. Good for you, Joe. Bengals are 6-point favorites, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I've taken the Bengals to cover the last 2 weeks, and they don't, and I
It's
have
been
no
crazy.
reason to believe why they're good. I mean, I want to pick them, but I can't. I'm gonna take the Jets +6. I think the Bengals win finally, but I don't know if I can take them to cover. They're not even winning games.
I'm gonna be the idiot here, and I'm gonna take the Bengals. Um, I mean, I want to play everyone in this matchup for the Bengals. I want to play Joe Mixon. I even want to play Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. Not necessarily, but Hayden Hurst. I think
Hayden
you could play
Hurst.
Hayden Hurst as well. On the Jets, I think you could probably. You're definitely going to start Michael Carter, more pass catching work. Brees Hall's a maybe for me. If you need to, you can. Garrett Wilson. I mean, I think Garrett Wilson deserves to be started, right? He's got to
Garrett
be.
Wilson was
Garrett Wilson.
breakout guy last week.
I don't really want to start another wide receiver on the Jets other than Garrett Wilson, but I am going to go back to the 0-2 Cincinnati Bengals and ride with them.
I don't really have a ton more to say on this game.
Yeah, that's fine. We can
I
keep it
don't know
rolling.
what to
It's
expect.
pretty gross. I know. It's crazy. And especially with the Jets beating the Bengals last year, too. So who
Yeah.
knows? But I'm going
Uh,
to be the idiot and continue with the Bengals.
Here comes a matchup. Two teams pretty much playing for their season, if you ask me. The 0-2 Las Vegas Raiders go to the 0-2 Tennessee Titans. Vegas, brutal loss last week. Uh, Vegas is -2 going to Tennessee. Uh, we got Hunter Renfro still in concussion protocol. Hilliard's actually questionable for this game for Tennessee, and Kyle Phillips. I'm sure both of them will play. Not a ton of worry there. Boy, I mean, who do you think has the more talented team? I think it's the Raiders.
Yeah, I believe it's the Raiders, too.
But God, you can't trust them in the slightest. I mean, you have to play Derrick Henry. By the way, you have to play Josh Jacobs, even though he hasn't been great.
Yeah.
He's getting the work, so you got to
Yeah.
play him as your RB2. Tannehill, no thank you. Carr, yes. Uh, Devontae, obviously, and then I think if Renfro's healthy, I think I got to play him because I mean you saw what the Tennessee
Yeah.
defense stinks.
And you're playing Darren Waller, of course, too.
Yeah, on Tennessee side, who are you? I mean, you playing
I
Henry?
mean, there's Derrick Henry, and that's it. I mean, Treylon Burks, if you seriously need to, but that's like you're on your last leg and you have to play Treylon Burks. I do think he's kind of taking over the passing work in this offense. But I think that this line is kind of crazy. I mean, the Raiders only at -2. Derrick Henry losing Taylor Lewan on the offensive line too. I mean, I'm on the Raiders here, and I agree with all the start sits that you kind of brought up.
I'm on the Raiders too, -2. The over under is 45.5. Uh, I think that could go under, to be honest. Uh,
Could be a gross one. I don't really have anything else to say about it, to be honest.
I don't either. Let's go to the next matchup in LA. The Jacksonville Jaguars. They are 1-1, going against a 1-1 Los Angeles Chargers team. Uh, like I said earlier, the spread is at 7, -7 for the Chargers, which means Vegas expects Herbert to play. Jacksonville has no injuries to report of. Keenan Allen, we don't know. And then JC Jackson questionable, but he played last game, so I'm sure he'll be out there. Got turned around by a guy I've never heard of for Kansas City. Boy, I mean, this could get this is I think this is a good fit. I think James Robinson you're starting, right? I mean, Clyde Edwards-Helaire ran pretty well against the Chargers in his limited work. I think you're starting Kirk. I'm starting Evan Ingram in the tight end position. I think the Chargers defense is good, but they give up points. They give up yards.
Yeah, I agree with all those starters. And as long as Justin Herbert's there, I think you want to start as many Chargers um, skill position players as you can. I mean, Gerald Everett, um,
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams. If Keenan Allen plays, I'm still even willing to play him on a short week because he is just like that PPR kind of guy that's going to get for a lot of first downs. If Keenan Allen does not play, I'm willing to play Joshua Palmer. And yeah, Austin Eckler is obviously a lock in your lineup always. So this
If
is
Austin
another. I mean,
Eckler,
it's a lot of games here that we're kind of liking for fantasy implications. Like we're willing to start just about every skill position player.
if Austin Eckler has another, I don't want to say dud, but he gets very limited usage around the goal line. Are you concerned? Are you shopping him if you have him?
I'm not because I just trust this Chargers offense so much that even on his limited work, he's usually going to be very productive. Um, Even when he gets, I could check how many rushing attempts he had last week, but I know he still had 9 catches on 10 targets. So even when he's not getting that rushing work, he makes up for it in the passing game. And I don't think he's found the end zone yet, but I do see that coming in the near future. It might even be this game. So
I'm on the Chargers here, -7. I'm a little hesitant though because I think the Chargers control the game, but I believe Jacksonville can kind of hang in there and be down by 10 to 14 the entire time, and it could be a
yeah,
late backdoor cover. But I'll go Chargers -7.
yeah, I'm on the Chargers as well with you.
All right, next up, let's go to Tampa Bay, the Packers and the Buccaneers. Tom Brady is throwing to anybody out there. I don't think did
Cole
I bring it up
Beasley.
in did we bring that up in news or did I forget about
I
that?
do not remember breaking news. Cole Beasley signed to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I actually
Yeah,
don't know if he signed. I
he
think he
did.
signed.
I think he signed to the practice squad. I don't know if I'm assuming he'll be elevated to the main roster. I don't know how much. I mean, he has to know like the learn all of the play calling and the
Yeah.
offense. So I don't know how much of a factor he'll be here. But
I
this is
don't
a
really
close
want to touch
spread.
it, to be honest.
Every wide receiver in the world is on the injury list for both teams. Sammy Watkins, Alan Lazard, Christian Watson, Randall Cobb. On the other
Romeo
side,
Dobbs season.
Julio Jones, Chris Godwin. We know that Mike Evans is suspended, so this should be an interesting game. I think you're playing Lenny for sure and Aaron Jones. And are you playing AJ Dillon? I'm thinking about playing AJ Dillon.
Yeah, I'm playing AJ Dillon. I mean, AJ Dillon outtouched Aaron Jones, although Aaron Jones was so productive. AJ Dillon had, I believe, 18 carries this past week. Um, and I think that they're going to be pretty similar to a Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, that you want to start both these guys all the time, and you just hope that it's your week that your guy's going to get the touchdown. So I'm
I
I'm willing to
agree.
start AJ Dillon.
The Buccaneers are favored by a single point at home.
Yeah, it's a tough call
Over
to
under
be honest.
42. Are you playing either of these quarterbacks?
I don't want to. No,
I know
I
it's
definitely don't
crazy.
want to.
If I had to say, okay, go back to that list of people, right? Would you rather play Carson Wentz or one of these two?
Carson Wentz,
I
as
just wanted to
crazy as
hear. I
that
just wanted to hear you
sounds.
say it.
Yeah.
I agree. Boy, I'm gonna take the. I'm gonna take the Buccaneers.
Oh, okay. I wanted to take the Bucks too, but you're making me second guess myself.
And the reason I am is just
I'm gonna go with the Packers.
Yeah, I am
I'm
kind
going to
of.
take the Packers, the +1, basically saying that I think the Packers will win. I just think that, oh God, but all their wide receivers are hurt too.
I know. I know. And like both teams can run the ball pretty well. I think I have a little more confidence in Tampa to hold the run better than I do in Green Bay. Green Bay's been giving up a lot of yards on the ground.
All right, give me Green Bay. Move
Let's
on. I don't
flip
want to talk
flop
about it
it.
anymore. It hurts to say.
Okay, let's go to Arizona. The LA Rams go to the Arizona Cardinals. Both teams coming in at 1-1. The spread 3.5 road favorites. The Rams are over under 48.5. JJ Watt didn't play a full game, but I think he'll be back even more in this game for Arizona. Doesn't look like there's gonna be Rondale Moore. James Conner, like we said, day to day. Nothing really significant on the Rams side. Are you playing Matt Stafford this game?
Yes, I am, and I think I'm playing Matthew Stafford without kind of worrying because I know this is a road division game, so you don't necessarily love that spot. But I do think that this is where the Rams kind of come back and say, "Oh yeah, we like." This is where everybody looks at the Rams like, "Oh yeah, they won the Super Bowl last year. Like they are still that good." Because I think that they're going to handle Arizona quite easily, to be honest. So I'm wanting all aspects of the Rams offense. Um, Cam Akers, Daryl Henderson is the only scary part. I think most people are probably willing to start Henderson and not Cam Akers just because of the big difference week one. So, I mean, I'm personally going to be starting Daryl Henderson, hoping for the best there. Obviously, Cooper Kupp, Allen Robinson starting both. Tyler Higbee's getting great target share, getting great receptions. You're starting him as well. So yeah, I'm on
All
the
right.
Rams here.
I have a question, two questions for you. If James Conner doesn't play, are you starting a Arizona running back?
If James Conner definitely doesn't play, um, man, I really don't know between Williams and Benjamin who
Benjamin.
would get involved. So I don't think I would be, to be honest. If you would have asked me before this last Arizona game, I would have said yes, I'm starting Benjamin until James Conner went out and I saw how much work Williams really got. And so that's what stopped me. But I'm still starting Hollywood Brown, starting Zach Ertz as well.
What about Greg Dortch?
It's weird. Greg Dortch's projection on waivers right now is like 4 points. Why is that? I mean, he's got
I
like
don't know.
15 and like 11.
I don't know.
Like,
I
it's
don't like
weird.
Hollywood. I was gonna ask you, who would you rather have, Greg Dortch or Hollywood Brown?
It's so weird. Are we missing? Is there something that we're missing? Why Greg
I don't
Dortch's
know.
projection is so low? I mean,
I
he's
think
literally their leading receiver.
I think a good start here, over maybe even over Hollywood is uh Zertz. I think
Yeah,
he gets involved a lot.
yeah, I,
Um,
I like Zach Ertz here too. I mean, I'm starting. If you have to, you could. It wouldn't be the end of the world to put Greg Dortch in if you really have to.
uh, all this really means is I'm stalling because I don't know who I'm going to pick.
I'm on the
Um,
I'm on the Rams.
I want to be on the Rams, but like they didn't give me any confidence that they didn't close the game
I
out
know.
last week against Atlanta, and Arizona didn't want to go away. I'll be on the Rams though. I think Arizona stinks. They can't stop anybody. They got really fortunate to win that game last week. I'll take the Rams. What are they laying 3.5?
Yes.
Yeah, give me that. All right, we're on to our last two games. Atlanta at Seattle. I really like Cordero Patterson here. I almost made
Yes.
him my start of the week. It's 0-2 Atlanta at the 1-1 Seahawks. This is even. Pick them. A complete even line. So, injury wise, nothing really big to talk about on either side. Drake London, are you starting him? Because I am.
Oh, of course, Drake London has been under the radar, a great wide receiver so far in fantasy, and I'm on the Falcons as well with this game. I just think that they have fought hard in all of their games. They've never given up, sort of Lions esque, where they never give up, but they still end up losing by a little bit. And with this game against an unknown Seattle team as a whole, like they still haven't really proved anything. I know that they beat Denver, but Denver has not woken up yet. I'm going to be on Atlanta, and I want to start Patterson. I want to start Drake London, Kyle Pitts. Ugh, golly. I mean, you have to start him. You just have to, and you have to hope things get better. And
Yeah,
on the flip side, I don't know if I would love to start anybody. I mean, I'm willing to start Metcalf and Lockett, but I am a little worried with the running back room with Kenneth Walker there now.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Penny. I was also going to ask you about the wide receivers. I don't think I would want to start any of them. I am starting Mariota, by the way, in a league where I lost
Yeah,
Trey Lance.
if Herbert it does not play, I'll be starting Mariota in the league as well.
Boy, give me the Falcons here. I think they're just a better offensive team. Now it is in Seattle, but give me the Falcons. And let's go to our final game. It is Sunday night football. It is the San Francisco 49ers at the Denver Broncos, Joe's favorite team with Russell Wilson. Right now, the spread is at 1.5. The 49ers are favored on the road, over under 45. Judy, still questionable. Obviously, no Trey Lance. And George Kittle probably looking like he's going to play, but it's Jimmy Garoppolo's back. And who are you on here, Joe?
So first of all, I want to say if Judy does not play, I think Cortland Sutton is a smash play this week. Kind of like what I said with the Rams. I mean, I know the Broncos haven't shown it yet, but this has got to be at the time that they do. I'm believing in it. I'm taking the Broncos. I want to play Javante. I'm even going to play Russell. I want Cortland Sutton. Judy, if he plays, I'm still willing to play, but I would like kind of lower my expectations. On the flip side, I don't love the running game for the Niners, even though I know that's what they're going to try to do is pound the rock. But I am in on Debo. If Kittle plays, you should be playing him with Jimmy G. They already have that good connection. And I'm not playing Jimmy G unless I absolutely have to.
Yeah, I'm taking the 49ers minus 1.5. I just don't like what I've seen from Denver.
Yeah.
They've been disappointing. I think if they run the football, it gets a lot better. I think not letting Russ cook is maybe the answer. I know Jeff Wilson was your sit of the week. I don't think he's going to be super productive as far as like rush, like yards per attempt, but I think they're going to give him the ball enough and they'll get down. So I'm going to sit here and take the 49ers. That was Sunday night. That was the Sunday night preview. Do you want to go into our matchup preview? I do have Lur's
Yes.
picks. No Lur today because we did record earlier, but he does have his picks.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll hop right into the first matchup here, which is actually you, Nick Testoni, versus Lur's brother, Derek Titano.
Shocking, but
Lur has taken the family here. He has taken Derek out of 139 projection to 130, favoring Derek here. He has newly acquired Joe Mixon, both running backs from my team on his team now, Joe Mixon, Cordero Patterson. He has Brandon Cooks back, Travis Kelce. Your highlights are hopefully getting that DeAndre Swift, Alvin Kamara finally to go off in your running game. Um, Obviously, you're hoping Jerry Judy and Hunter Renfrow are playing as well.
I got T. Higgins.
And T. Higgins, of course, is highlighting your wide receiving core. So Lur is on Derek here. Next matchup, we have Will Spano versus Bryce Phobel. Will Spano is 133 projection versus Bryce 129. Lur is taking Spano here.
Yes, he is.
Highlighted by Josh Allen at the quarterback position, Najee Harris, Terry McLaurin, Michael Thomas, and Drake London, a guy that we just mentioned in his flex, who I think is a
Yeah.
phenomenal guy to have in your flex.
Yeah.
Spano did trade away Kyle Pitts earlier in the year to get
James
James
Robinson.
Robinson and has not played him yet. So that is interesting. Bryce now has Clyde as well as Mark Andrews to go with his Tyler Higbee in the flex. The double tight end strategy obviously has 3 Chiefs on his team that I mentioned before. And Lur is on Spano. So going next here, we have Papa Kamish versus Jackson, Milk with Ice. Lur is on Andy here, who is Papa
Yeah.
Kamish. He's a commissioner.
I think
Although he
Andy's team
is,
is dominant.
yeah. And it's crazy that the projections don't show it
I
because
know.
Jackson is projected to win by 10 here, but Andy's team is phenomenal, but the projections just aren't there, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Jackson at the 143 projection, highlighted by some big names here. We have Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, George Kittle, Justin Jefferson. Andy highlighted by a lot of big names as well.
He's got
Jonathan
Kareem Hunt on
Taylor.
the bench.
Yeah, now because he has Aaron Jones, so Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Jones, Keenan Allen, Michael Pittman, Jalen Waddle, even Carson Wentz, top 3 quarterback in fantasy right now.
Damn right he is.
Um, Next here we have the winner in Lur's eyes. Lur's pick is Hooked on the Thielen versus Diego. Hooked on the Thielen is Jake Wills, of course. Jake Wills
Diego.
highlighted by his sorry, good.
Terrible. Well, I was talking to Diego about moving Cooper Cup, and I would have given up a lot. His answer to me was he's the reason I'm 2-0.
Yeah, which is a fact.
Fine. This is going to be a bad team by the end of the year.
Yeah.
There is nothing besides his starting lineup.
He has no depth as well. If he gets injuries, he is screwed. Jake Will is highlighted by a strong running back core of Austin Eckler, Leonard Fournette, and Javonte Williams. He is trying to find guys in that wide receiver spot. He has Gabe Davis and Jacoby Myers. Diego, his team, Cooper Cup. Need I say any more? No. Jake Wills is projected 142 over Diego at 136. Diego does have James Conner, so I know he's hoping he plays because his depth
There
is
is no other option.
non-existent.
I don't think there's another option.
So again, Lur is fading me. He is picking Andrew Atkins to beat me. He has not picked me yet, and I am 2-0. Repeat, 2-0. Thank you, Lur. Andrew Atkins is projected to beat me by 0.4 points here, 133 to 132.9.
A pick him.
Yeah, basically pick him here. I mean, Atkins just has a well-rounded team. David Montgomery, Nick Chubb, as well as a strong receiving core of Jamar Chase, Deebo Samuel, and DJ Moore. So he really likes the D wide receivers.
Evidently, that's
as well
what
as Dallas Goedert. I'm highlighted by a strong receiving core now as well with Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams, and Cortland Sutton. Both of our quarterbacks are questionable. I mean, not literally questionable, but we're both worried. I have Russell Wilson,
Russ and Rodgers,
and Andrew Atkins has Aaron Rodgers. So we're definitely worried to see what happens there with our quarterbacks. And I'm wondering what will happen with Zeke now on the team. Lastly, here, the last matchup, Sam Smith is getting the victory in Lur's eyes, which is surprising considering Soup and Sammy's is his matchup, and God damn it, they look good.
Yeah, they did against
Soup and Sammy's. They have a 147 projection, a league high projection here.
Jeez.
Sam Smith at 136. Soup and Sammy's here, highlighted by Dalvin Cook, Jalen Hurts, Tyreek Hill, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, that's 80-plus points a week right there just from those two. And Sam Smith highlighted by recently acquired Christian Kirk, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, and Justin Herbert at the quarterback position. So those are Lur's picks. Derek Titano to win, Will Spano to win, Andy Collins to win, Jake Wills to win, Andrew Atkins, and Sam Smith. So shout out those boys. Lur picks you. Hopefully you can get a dub except for Andrew Atkins.
Shout out to Tyreek Hill real quick. I was on TikTok the other day scrolling through. He was playing Fortnite. He was live streaming it. He's pretty damn good. That's all I got on it. Go ahead, Joe. You want to plug the Twitter real quick?
Yeah, for sure. Follow us on Twitter at EastsideFF, as well as Eastside Fantasy Football on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. Really appreciate everybody who's been listening. And good luck in week 3.
Give us a follow, subscribe, share with your friends. Hey, everyone, good luck in week 3. And let's see if I can get my first win. How about that?
Good luck, Tessoni.
Thanks for having us. This was the Eastside Fantasy Football Podcast. See ya.
Good luck, guys. See ya.